Alright, so I guess I'll bring up the story of destroying recycling bins. So when you're learning how to do bunny hops and stuff when you're a kid, when you're younger and you're a lot more nimble, you can get over 2 feet real fast. And that's what I did. I could jump like 36 inches like easy. And I'm only like 5'4". Well, at the time, not 5'6", but still. But before you know it, you're not jumping, just randomized things. Your parents have the recycling bins out for garbage one day, and next thing you know, it's your job later on the day to take those back in, but you're out in the front yard on the sidewalk sessioning, and next thing you know, you're setting up these poor recycling bins on the sidewalk and bunny hopping over 1 to 2 of them at a time. And that goes great for about a couple minutes, and the next thing you know, your body starts tiring. And as everybody says, when you're doing good sessions and everything, your body's only good for about 20 minutes tops before you start getting loopy. That's the reason why you got to take breaks occasionally. You just can't be like 100% constantly, or you instantaneously go into a negative. Not even 10%. You're like negative a percentage of like mentalness going on, and your body starts getting slower on responses and stuff, and that's what it would do. So yeah, your parents come home and there's blue pieces of recycling bin all over the freaking front sidewalk because you didn't clean them up good enough, and then the questions come up. My parents must have gotten probably 8 recycling bins, claiming them as ran over by cars. Oh, bicycle's kind of like a car. And you could say it wasn't on purpose. On purpose was to clear it. But, yeah, I used to, line 2 of them, one right here, and just soar over. Or I would just put one upside down on top of the other one. It was a good way to learn how to bunny hop. And because they were plastic, you didn't have to worry about hitting anything that was going to stay. So, and this is back in the day, right when they were starting to make bikes heavy. So, to go up 36 inches on a semi-heavy bike, that's pretty impressive for somebody that's not even 6 foot. 5.5 feet is it's really hard to actually get a bike really high in the air. You got to think about it. If it's 2.5 feet, that's pretty much half my height. If it's 3 feet, that's more than half of my height. The average rider can only bunny hop half of their height. That's fact. The really good ones can actually go above that, but the majority of people train, and that's as far as they can get is half their height. Which is fine because of the fact that basically if your tires are clearing 2.5 feet or half your height and you may be getting 36 inches, theoretically the peg is going to be around 11 inches from that area. So if, say, even in the worst case scenario, you got your rear tire, say, up to worst case 2.5 feet. Now add another practical foot to that, and that's as high as you can grind. There's not too many arm or handrails that are that high. I mean, most handrails are going to be 3 feet. So just because your rear tire is only clearing, 2.5 feet, you're way in par for doing a handrail. And that's something that most people don't understand. Like, they never fathom in their head. Like, when I started doing grinds and everything, I was so held back from it because of the fact that I thought I wasn't high enough. And, like, it was to the point where the guys that I was riding with, they were like, go do a bunny hop real quick. And they were like, yeah, you could definitely clear that rail by at least like 7-8 inches easily. And it looked like you still had more to go, because I didn't really lift the rear tire up, because when you have something in front of you that you mentally have to clear, it's easy to actually do the whole process perfectly. But if you're just randomly out in the parking lot and you're like, yeah, let's go see you do a bunny hop, and you do the motions and everything, but you have nothing to, overcome, so you don't really lift up your rear tire. And it only goes up like, 75% of the way. So they could clearly see that, like, I wasn't gonna biff. And yeah, so basically, like, my first grind was a normal handrail. I think it was 5 stairs. And I definitely remember the rear peg landing hard, and I pressed down on the pedal and I could feel it in the pedal, and I know the front peg barely touched that rail, because it was only like a couple steps, so basically there wasn't that much area for it to hit. And they basically told me that when I was setting up, to make sure that front peg hit that rail, because if not, I was going to basically just drop out at the end of the rail because I overshot. So it was kind of like a math thing of finding out how fast I should actually hit it. And come to find out, when you're younger, you think speed is everything about doing good airs and everything, and it's not. The fact of the matter is basically, when it comes down to it, you could do half of the stuff that everybody's doing with half the speed and actually be successful at it. Like, most people are biffing because of the fact that they're throwing too much speed into things. And especially people that are not running brakes, because of the fact that they don't have that last minute, to slow down and kind of like basically try and flow through the trick instead of like basically blasting through it. Because it's really hard to like actually focus on coordination and everything when you're having a constant fear on the back of your mind that if I went into this too fast, what's going to be the result? And everybody knows the answer to that. The result's always going to be basically you just crashed harder. However, though, if you do learn how to do tricks at higher speed, you're probably not going to be riding too much longer. You're not going to have a long ass like hobby in riding, because of the fact that you're going to be all busted the fuck up. And 2, you will be good at what you do, but like I said, in the long term, you won't last. Full send guys are rare, and full send guys that are actually able to stay being a full send kind of guy for a long period of time are super rare. I mean, look at all the pro riders and everything. It's a mental drain on your brain, because of the fact that basically, like, I didn't even do like really crazy riding when I was younger. Well, I don't consider it crazy. I mean, I rode vert, and it wasn't like mini vert. It was Olympic vert, and I crashed a couple good fucking times, and I'm still paying the consequences of that to this day, 20 years later. And having to live with that internal organ damage, broken bones, arthritis, ligament damage. Like, you young guys don't really actually pay attention to what this is actually going to do to your body. So when I call you guys pussies for not being able to do vert and everything, take it with a grain of salt, because at the same time, old man me is going, yeah, they shouldn't be doing vert either, because look what the fuck it did to you. But, yeah, as long as you take your time doing it, it is the funnest thing you can do in BMX. And it's the most abuse that you can put your bike through. Because here's the problem. Most people don't know about vert ramps. And here's the other problem that most people don't not understand about skate park quarters. When you go up a skate park quarter and hit where the copane is, where it's not actually vert, and send it so you don't get blasted onto the deck, but back over the transition of dropping back in, aka the 180. If you set that up and you come back down and you 180 and aim for the copane, and you accidentally overshot the copane by a couple, an inch or so, or 2 inches, or 5 inches if you're really horrible, you're gonna instantaneously land back down on this quarter, because it doesn't go this way. It goes up to the copane like this, and there's still, like, if you look at my hand, it's not straight up. That's the problem. It's like, it's sitting like this. So no matter what, you can't overshoot it. So you overshot the copane, you go down an extra like inch and a half before you hit the fucking the back of the quarter. Perfectly safe. And you might skid a little bit because you overshot, so that means you're out of control a little bit. Okay, so now we'll just take a 10-foot vert. Oh, fuck it. We're gonna cut it all the way down to an 8-foot vert. 8-foot verts are actually really cool because of the fact that basically 5 feet of them is a quarter. The rest of it, the 3 feet, is straight the fuck up. Sometimes it's 4 feet, 4 feet. Sometimes it's 6 feet, 2 feet. It matters what the park was actually designed for. Skateboarders, they love vert, but they don't get to use it that often. So basically when it comes down to like park design and everything, the majority of the cities and everything won't allow them to do vert anyways. And that's the reason why I bring this up. It's because a real vert ramp, if you overshot that copane when you actually did your 180 to, drop back in, if you overshoot, say 2 inches, two fucking inches, you're not going to hit wood until you drop 4 feet. Now, if you overshot, say 4 or 5 inches, and if you get really good into this, and you did probably about a good 2 to 5 minute session of really pushing yourself on a vert ramp, we've all done it. You kicked out, you did a 180, and you're coming back in, and now you're in between like 5 and 10 inches away from the fucking copane. I'd much rather be away from the copane than behind it, because I've done that before and gone over the handlebars and dropped into the fucking flat of a vert ramp, and that hurts like hell. And you're coming back down now. You're not just not going to touch wood after 4 feet of a drop. You're actually going to go even further. And instead of hitting a transition of this, you're actually going to hit more of a transition like this. I mean, it's not flat, but you're still going to hit a hard spot instead of rolling into the half pipe. I mean, the best thing about it is like, you look at riders doing flares on half pipe. Look how far in they come back down. And that's the reason why basically a lot of them bail out, is because of the fact that when you're coming back in from a flare, most of the time you want to hit higher up on the vert ramp and then basically ride out. And if you flare and you basically send it out a little bit too far, and then you land base of the half pipe, you have literally just dropped. Say if it was only 8 feet, you've dropped 6 feet and landed on your wheels. Okay. Go to the skate park, jump off the fucking deck at I don't know, like most skate parks are only 4 feet tall features. But if they had a 6 foot tall feature, yeah, jump from the top of that down to the fucking wood and feel how hard that hurts. That's what you're doing to your bike every single time you do half pipes. And I think that's the reason why most kids don't ride half pipes anymore. It's because of the fact that basically they beat the shit out of the bikes. Especially if they want to learn flares. God dang, that does a lot of damage to a bike. But as for an update on my bike, I have secured the... I forgot what the Odyssey's single... like it's designed for just a single cable, but it looks exactly like the modular. I think it would be a Cincinnati lever. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's a Cincinnati lever. I'm not sure, but it looks exactly like the modular. I secured one of those. It's used. It kind of looks like the bike's already been like basically like beaten up, but no matter what, bike's going to be all chipped by the time I get done in the season anyway, so it's going to be all matching. And I secured the redneck stem. So the gyro situation is going to be all done, and the other brake lever is going to be situated as well. I think I got no maintenance left to do. I mean, I do have to break down the wheels, but I don't really need to break down the wheels. Because like I said, everything is pretty solid with the wheels right now. But it'd be better than nothing. I should actually like at least take the dust caps off of those sealed bearings and actually push the grease out of them. Frame wise and everything, the bottom bracket, I already did that too. That was the first day that I got the bike. I went through and I cleaned up all the bearings. I will be replacing the headset. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week. But the headset, I'm not going to run a non-sealed headset. It's just... It's front brakes. You need, sealed bearings there. They're a lot stronger, and because of the fact that the cups have that damn round bevel to them, you have a higher possibility of setting your top load, and you still have rock when you're hitting your brake, and you don't even realize it until the first time you hit your brake, and you're like, fuck, I don't got my Allen wrenches. And then, so basically what happens is like, they're just garbage. I mean, they're great for freaking, normal riding situations, but, I mean, you might as well get a freaking sealed headset anyways, because they're so damn cheap. I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy a Chris King one, but I'll probably buy, like, whatever I can find at the bike shop that's, CNC'd in a way, or somewhat hand-built bearings, meaning, they were built in America by a manufacturing company that actually made the race, the insides, the bearings, and all that other shit, and they fucking assembled the damn thing, and they got the little stupid-ass spring fucking holder that, like, Chris King uses to hold all the bearings together, and then, yeah, that kind of shit. I'll probably be looking at to spend about, I don't know, $65 to $75 on that. And so I'm going to get a halfway decent one. I'm not going to get Chris King. I got Chris King on downhill bike. I don't want it on the BMX. Because it's overkill. It is nice though. As for when the bike build will happen, I don't really know. I'm gonna be dealing with I gotta go to the hospital in 2 days for my final paperwork and everything, and then I start there. and I haven't brought that up in these videos yet, but a lot of people that actually will watch this video that are my old subscribers and everything know that basically I've always been in automotive. So with this last year, I switched up and did the medical school and everything, and I'm gonna basically change careers. So it's better that way anyways. So all you numbskulls out there, this is the reason why I switched over to medical. I only have to work 3 days a week, and that's full time. I get paid really good money, get all the benefits, and don't have to pay shit for them. I mean, basically, they allocate me a certain amount of money per month for my medical, but it's basically everything's paid. If I throw money into it on top of it, I get super duper duper premium fucking medical, which is great because, hey, anybody that rides Vert out there, you know how fucking good dental is because we're all busted teeth. There's not one guy that unless like they rode their whole career with chin guard and fucking a mouthpiece and stuff. But yeah, when you hit the deck really hard, yeah, your teeth get fucked up. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. So basically like that means a lot to me. In automotive, you can never get any sort of retirement or any really adequate insurance. It was always a pain in the ass. I mean, even when I worked for Lotus, it was horrible. It was just a fucking nightmare. I made good money, but at the end of the day, if I had to go see a doctor, it would be straight out of pocket, and it's just a lot of stupid money when it comes down to that. So, nuts in the story. Basically, 2 days from now, I will be doing the finalization of the paperwork. I start working there probably middle of February. So sometime between this Friday and when I start, that's when I'm going to be doing the full detailed bike build. I'll have the bike already broken down, and I'm going to be basically going through every single piece and making sure everything is stupid nice. Well, outside of paint, because I'm not going to be able to make the paint look good. Yeah, it's a beat up bike, and it's going to be doing a lot of beat up shit. But that's that.